Okay, today I'm gonna make pork dumplings. I'm gonna go pick some cabbages from the garden and some daikon radishes, and I'm gonna use the turnip greens too, because I got a good feeling that I think even though it's not in the normal recipe, I think it has the bitter greens are gonna add a flavor, kind of like if you used mustard greens. It's I think it's gonna work out pretty good. Yeah, so they're gonna be fried dumplings. Go by gyoza or was it gao tai, pan fried dumplings. So I think the cabbages are doing really well this year. They're like growing very fast, I think. And here we've got the Napa cabbage that I'm going to use for the dumplings. Probably use, it's like I only got three to choose from. I'm going to use this big one. And there you go. It's Dexter, Bailey, yeah, and the radishes. I'm gonna get this one. There we go. Finally, I'm gonna pick some garlic chives. This is gonna be a little bit harder, but I'll show them off. So here's the bed. It's almost all garlic chives. There's a few, this is like a clover, it's a weed. And there's another, like a grass-like weed that is in here. It's mostly just garlic chives. And you see these grow and they get like old and die back, but most of it's good. So I'm just gonna pick this off camera. All right, got garlic chives, green onions, daikon radish. I could get a few more out of the garden. Carrots. I got plenty of carrots. Got these store-bought wonton skins that you can use for pot stickers. I'm probably just gonna try a few of these as I'm making it, and then I'm gonna make homemade later. But as I'm trying out the flavor of the dumplings, I think I'm gonna use this. And maybe if I get lazy, I'll just switch that. And got Napa cabbage, my radish tops for a more bitter flavor. And this is a lot of vegetables, but I've decided this is a lot of meat too. I might turn this all into pot stickers. Probably what? I don't know. 5 pounds, probably. Maybe more, a little bit more. Anyway. So for reference, I've got somebody's recipe from Serious Eats. I usually, I don't usually follow a recipe exactly. I'll look at like 2 or 3 different recipes from people I trust and then kind of like use them as a baseline for comparison and make it on my own. So the first step is going to be salting the cabbage and slicing it up, because you want to get a lot of the excess water. I've made dumplings once or twice before, so you want to get the excess water out. It's like making there's certain kinds of kimchi that it's similar to. You get the excess water out so that when you eat the dumplings, it's not like too juicy or whatever. Like with cabbage, you want just basically the meat texture and flavor. So, like kimchi, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to salt the same thing, salt and squeeze out the excess water in this daikon and probably the carrots as well. I won't have to worry about that with the garlic chives and the green onions. And I'll do the same with the radish tops. And then I'm gonna mix them together and try to get the flavoring just right. Once I've done that, I'll start filling them and wrapping them and cooking them off. But probably most will end up in the freezer. But one step at a time. So I clean these cabbages off, these cabbage leaves off. Now slice them pretty thin, I think. I could be slicing them thinner, but when I salt them, they're going to shrink up. All the water is going to run out. I'm going to squeeze even more of it out. I'm doing something here.
Okay.
You're about to go out. I already threw you out once. Two, you're going again. And don't scratch me. Don't do that.
Kind of roll it up. I think the recipe says you can use a food processor, but it's not that difficult to use a knife. The food processor will really beat this up before I even get the salt on it. I don't think I want that, even if it would work. There we go. For any pieces that I want to cut up a little bit more. This is quite a bit of cabbage, but it's all going to shrink down quite a bit too. Okay. I'm going to try what might be too much, but I suppose it won't matter. A tablespoon of salt. Now, not all of the salt is going to stay in the cabbage. A lot of it's going to end up in the liquid that I squeeze off. But all of the salt that stays in the cabbage is going to end up in the dumpling. So if it's too much salt, which I don't think it will be. I'll just won't salt the rest of the filling as heavily. Mix it around. It's already wilting. But not a lot of water is coming out. Yet. There. I suppose I probably could use gloves. I do have food grade gloves, but I like using my hands. Always have. That's sort of a new thing anyway. I think it's probably unnecessary. You need to wash your hands frequently, but you get a better feel. I'm going to taste the piece here. This piece, a little too big. I'm going to taste it. A little salty. It's not very salty. Has a vaguely mustard scent. You can't smell it. Like some cabbages, European cabbage, it doesn't have the same scent. Which they're in the same family, so mustard is the cabbage. This is an old kitchen towel. I'm going to squeeze the liquid out with it. Kind of like you might do for potatoes if you're making hash browns. See, that was about half of that big cabbage. Now, well, we've got like 2 cups, maybe 3, 2.5. Now less. I don't really know what to do with this. It seems like a waste. It's very green. There it is. the healthy part of the filling. So I peeled the daikon radishes and the carrots before putting them through the food processor, and they came out like this, shredded. I got that. Where is this? I'm just going to do the same thing I did with the cabbage, which is add some salt, kosher salt. Mix it around. Get some squeeze. See the water starting to come out of these vegetables. Probably be pretty good for a smoothie or a soup or something if they didn't have as much salt as they did. I just tossed it. Next time I'll have to come up with an idea. I'm not sure how much nutrition is lost either. Probably some. Okay, I like that. I might go get another daikon radish. This isn't very much compared to the amounts of everything else I've got. I could get some more carrots too. But I haven't started making the filling yet. So we gotta try it. And that is that. Slice these scallions or green onions as thin as possible and all the way through. the trick. Oh no, that's not good. All right, got my cabbage and radish tops, carrots and daikon radish, green onion and garlic chives, and the pork. So I'm ready to start. Mix up a ratio and fill it and see how it tastes. It's what? Pound of ground pork. Two tablespoons of soy sauce. tablespoon of Shaoxing rice wine. Put about half a tea tablespoon of brown rice vinegar. I don't know, just eyeballed that. Yeah. The recipe doesn't call for using egg to bind it, but I might try that and see. And take a little bowl. I guess I gotta get the wrappers out. On second thought, I won't get the wrappers out. I'll just try it as is. Little ball, and then fry it in a skillet. It's probably more, or about as much as you get in a single dumpling. That much. So I like that mixture. I'm going to use it. I'm going to add a few more things though. I'm going to add some white pepper. I'm going to add some garlic powder. I'm going to add some sesame oil, and there's one other thing. I'm going to add some potato starch, some instant potato starch flakes, because I think that it helps keep some of the juices in just a little bit better. Just like a few shakes to like a pound, maybe like 2 tablespoons or something. It's used in Spam as well it's for texture. Okay, I'm going to roll some dumplings. Okay, so I made this dough with 2 cups of plain all-purpose flour and 1 cup of boiling water. I sort of knead it just a little bit and let it rest. Now it's rested quite some time, but I rolled it out. Here, I'll do the same thing. According to the instructions, rolled it out. It's about 6 inches long. It's about 6 inches long. But a little bit longer than my hand. And so I want to get 10 balls out of this by cutting in half. Maybe at least 10. There's that 1, 2, 3. 11. Okay. Just roll these little balls. Try to be consistent. I think this is the only time, this is the first time I've ever made dumpling skins. So like this one, probably too small. A little too small. I'll pinch some dough off of one of the bigger ones. Try to fix it. A little off of each one. Maybe that was a little too much. Plenty of dough on the surface, or plenty of flour, not dough, plenty of flour on the surface. I flattened out this one, kind of flatten it out. Roll it into a perfect round. It can be kind of difficult sometimes. Keeping it floured so that it doesn't stick to either the board or the rolling pin. That is one of the tricks. There isn't enough flour on either the wrapper or the rolling pin, the dough will stick and it will fold and tear, or fold. It will fold over or roll unevenly. See, some people, people get real fast at this. I'm not. See how it pinches? I'm gonna get it just so it doesn't pinch. There. It's not perfectly round. Quite a bit of excess flour. That's okay. So, to fill these, first I'm going to take some water around the edges. This will be so when I press the dough together, it'll stick together, forming a seal. And take my filling mixture. You don't want to get too much, but you don't want to get too little. That is probably perfect. Kind of like you could maybe do just a little bit more. That looks like it's getting to be too much. There. Fold it over. Press. See. We've got dumpling, empanada, pierogi, what is it, gyoza, gutao. They got the normal shape. And to make it pretty, or try to, we'll put water on the outside so that it will stick to itself again. And this also makes for a better seal. And then crimp or fold or make the pleats by taking one side, the piece behind the dough forward, and with my left hand, and with my right hand pushing it back. So like this. And then moving up a little bit at a time, each time. And it sticks to itself, and it creates the kind of pretty natural pleats, or pretty pleats that you see when you get them from a grocery store, or when you get them at the restaurant. There's different ways to do this. This is only one way. There's actually quite a few different ways to make this. And then you can then take this and actually fold it over like this, which, why not? And you get another similar shape. This is more crown shape. The other one's more shrimp shape, dumpling shape, pie shaped, I guess. Crescent shape. That's the word. Crescent. It's like packet shaped. They're both, I think, fairly common. Anyway, there. That's one. Now it's ready for cooking, ready for getting steamed and its bottom fried. Let's do one more. It's really thin, right? But it's not, it doesn't tear. I think that partially has to do with the boiling of the water. Changes the texture of the dough, I think. And it really is just flour and hot water. No oil at all. No egg, no oils. Wheat flour, that's it. This looks like a lot. A lot for this little dumpling. Maybe it's just right. Fold it over. Pressed it down. Get the outside. And crimp. Try to. This is a skill and I'm not good at it. There you go. Okay, so to make these fried dumplings on the bottom, pot stickers, hot pan, oil, it's just soybean oil, pot stickers go in. I'm just going to fry the bottom. And this is really hot. I'm going to add a little bit of water, I don't know, half a cup, quarter of a cup, and seal this. Take the pan. Now they're not stuck to the bottom of the pot, pan. I'm just going to let them cook until the water is basically evaporated. And I'm going to fry them on their side again. I've got gyoza sauce that I'm going to use, but the traditional, or what I think is pretty good, is it's a 3 parts vinegar, 1 part soy sauce, 1 part sesame oil. And you cut up some chives in it if you got it. That maybe add some sugar. That is the pretty good, pretty standard dumpling sauce. I have some store-bought gyoza sauce. It's not the same. It's not bad. It's not the same. I got to use it, so I'm going to eat it. So the pork was raw. It's important to make sure that it gets all the way done. And even though it's not that thick, still want to make sure it's cooked all the way through. So giving it, I don't know, 5 minutes, 4 minutes. Use the gyoza sauce. Hear that? Scrape. You know that it's crispy on the bottom. It's a good sign. All right, here they are. I don't know if you can hear how crispy it is. They don't stay crispy forever. 2 bites. It's pretty good.